Mike, so the NBA goes over to China and gets itself in really a mess.
Yeah.
What do you make of this?
It's money, right? I mean, they're going to follow the money, and it is interesting. Adam Silver has been like your cool uncle who wants to appease everybody, right? He wants everybody to have their voice. He wants everybody to talk because it's been relatively easy for him in a sense. Like, they can have opinions on things. You can let your players talk. It really didn't hurt the NBA bottom line, but they are all in on China. And China is all in, at least as far as the viewers and listeners are concerned, on the NBA. And all of a sudden, the real world steps in, and the NBA doesn't know how to handle it. And you've got an owner telling his GM to shut up, and then the league steps in, and then who knows what happens when the players start talking. So, again, it would be a simpler thing if it was not about massive amounts of money, but it's about money for them.
Just as the backdrop to this, I'm sure everyone kind of knows it. Again, the Houston general manager goes to China, where the NBA has a presence this week, playing exhibition games and the like, and voices support for the dissident movement in Hong Kong. And then all hell breaks loose.
But it's not just it's $2.4 billion. $2.4 billion China is worth to the NBA. And I am very disappointed, not only in the NBA, but in ESPN. Because here's the thing. You said that controversy never hurt the NBA. In fact, it helped the NBA. Because what made the NFL look dinosaur-esque made the NBA look like they had their pulse on what was going on with younger Americans. And they sat there and said, essentially, hey, man, listen, we're not going to keep you from saying anything. And when we see injustice, we're happy for you to speak. And then here comes this perceived injustice from the general manager of the Houston Rockets. And all of a sudden, because there's $2.4 billion on the line, ESPN sent out a mandate to their employees that they could not talk politics in regards to the NBA because of the contract that they have with NBA basketball.
Which is okay for ESPN.
But no, it's not, because they also, listen, however you feel about Colin Kaepernick, ESPN got a lot of eyes on them because of the stances that they took with what was going on with Colin Kaepernick. And they took that same angle too, where if you want to speak, go ahead and speak. And that's great, fantastic. But when it shows up in your backyard and when it hurts your pocketbook, don't sit here and tell me that you had a legitimate feeling. That makes me think everything going on with the NBA and ESPN in regards to social justice previous was just to cash a check, which makes you the world's biggest disgusting
Well, for one thing, it's always been the quality of the opinion. I mean, like, for instance, if an NBA guy comes out and he's just an open bigot or something like this, they would stifle him, although that's the flip side to the social justice question. They just don't like that opinion. What's wrong? I was trying to think about this. What's wrong with me thinking that when in Rome, do as the Romans do applies here? Like, these opinions that the Houston Rockets, if he had said this in the United States about China, would have been okay, but being in China this week, it's not okay.
Well, it's not only in China, it's when all this is going on in China. If this would have been said a month from now, when the NBA regular season was going full bore and they had already played those games, and yes, you're making money with China, but it's not right there in front of you, I think it would have been perceived differently. But it is, because not only did he say it, and you know what? I honestly think it would have kind of gone by a lot of people if Daryl Morey would have just tweeted this. But when the owner comes out and says, you do not speak for the team, now it becomes a huge thing for them.
But you brought up when in Rome. That's the problem the NBA has. They're not in Rome. They are centrally an American thing. And I know they grow their game globally, but when you want to make yourself a piece of the American social fabric, like they did with social justice issues, there's no more when in Rome. It's right and it's wrong and it's how you perceive it.
And it's hypocritical.
And those individual players make a lot of money in China now.
Well, that's what's going to be interesting.
Oh, I hate that it's about the money.
No, but it is. It is.
I know it is, but I hate that you try to make a philosophical argument and it comes down to who's making money.
It does. And that's why I say individual. You see these players all the time. They go to China. They do clinics. They're over there. They are selling tons of jerseys and sneakers. Their sponsors want them over there because the eyeballs are on the product, and it's a matter of where you can sell, and that is the market where they're selling.